Welcome to the CMCI video on live remote proctoring. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the CCM exam, what is on-site testing versus what is live remote proctoring, also known as LRP. How does LRP work? LRP frequently asked questions, technical responses and requirements, do's and don'ts for LRP testing. The Certified Construction Manager exam gives you 1 year of eligibility access to pass the exam from the day that you're notified you're approved. You may take the exam a total of 3 times within that year, with 45-day waiting period in between each exam attempt. It is a computer-based exam with a 4-hour time limit. It's 175 multiple choice questions, and the current exam passing rate is 84%. CMCI partners with PSI testing facilities around the world to provide the CCM exam. CMCI has also recently added the use of live remote proctoring through PSI as well. So what is on-site testing? CMCI utilizes PSI's testing center network as locations approved for the CCM exam. What that means is you actually have to go to a test center in order to take the CCM exam. There you'll find certified test center administrators, innovative security tools, and have a choice of over 1,800 testing centers around the world. So what is live remote proctoring? LRP is defined as a person actively watching a candidate during the time of testing administration. So as I stated before, CMCI works with PSI to offer live remote proctoring. And what you'll find there is that you'll be able to take the exam in the comfort of your home or office space. You'll find industry-leading and innovative security tools and real-time monitoring with remote PSI certified proctors.
The online remote proctored testing experience. PSI is a global test delivery company offering a professional, secure testing experience. Thousands of people each year take their exams in our global network of test centers or online, anywhere, anytime with a remote proctor. At PSI, we understand that everything we do influences someone's career, so we have made it a priority to provide you with a great testing experience. We hope this video will help ease any concerns you may have about the testing process and allow you to focus your energy on your most important goal, passing your exam. If you need to schedule an appointment, visit our website or check with your test sponsor for specific scheduling information. PSI's candidate support team is available 24/7 to speak with you by phone, email, or online chat. Or perhaps you already have your testing appointment scheduled. If so, this video was made just for you. It's a quick overview of what you can expect when taking an online exam with PSI. One of the first things to consider before taking your exam is location. You will need to secure a quiet and private room. Make sure you pick a spot that no one else will need to access during your testing session. The area should be well lit, uncluttered, and free from any distracting background noise. To take the exam, you will need access to a desktop or laptop computer with a webcam and microphone. Prior to your appointment, you can visit the PSI website and access an online compatibility checklist to ensure your equipment is ready for your exam. When you schedule your exam appointment, you will receive instructions for logging into the PSI online system. In most instances, you will be allowed to start this process up to 15 minutes prior to your appointment time. When you log in, you will be greeted by a PSI test administrator. The administrator will begin a typed chat session to walk you through the process, beginning with a check to ensure that your webcam and microphone are working properly and that screen sharing has been activated. If you have multiple monitors connected, the system will detect this and you will be asked to enable sharing for all connected equipment. Next, you will be asked to scan your testing area with your webcam. This scan will include a slow 360-degree view of the room, a look at the top of your desk and under the desk, and an inspection of the keyboard and other desktop objects. It is recommended that your workspace be as clutter-free as possible. The administrator will be looking at the area to ensure restricted items are not on the desk or in the room. This includes food or drinks, headphones, electronics, or mobile devices, such as cell phones or tablets. In most instances, notes or reference materials are not allowed. But please check the PSI website or with your test sponsor for requirements specific to your exam. Once the room scan is complete, you will be asked to present your government-issued photo ID to the webcam. Some test sponsors require further proof of identification or additional security checks, so please review the specific requirements for your exam on the PSI website or with your test sponsor prior to your appointment. Once we have established a secure testing area and verified your identification, your testing session will begin. You will find the PSI testing software to be intuitive and easy to navigate. The test administrator will be available through type chat throughout your session. They cannot assist with any exam-related questions, but are there to help if you run into any technical issues. They will also be actively monitoring and recording the session through screen share, webcam, and microphone, meaning they will be able to see and hear you. It is important that your room remains quiet and free from distraction during testing. No one else should enter the room during your session, and there should be no talking or background noise. When you are finished with your test, you will be notified if there are any unanswered questions and asked to confirm that you are ready to end the testing session. Depending on your test sponsor, you may receive a score report on screen, or you may simply receive instructions for how to obtain your score. The test administrator will then chat with you a few more times and conclude the session. We wish you much success on your exam. If you have any concerns about what to expect during your testing experience, please visit the PSI website or contact our customer service team. They are available to you 24/7 through phone, email, or online chat.
So let's go over some LRP frequently asked questions. How is it different from testing center proctoring? Well, the software is different, and the proctor will require you to perform a scan of the room of your computer as you saw in the video. But the exam itself will look and feel the same in either option. So whether you're taking it at a test center or you're taking an LRP exam, the actual platform will look and feel the same. How is the test delivered? The test is delivered online, which requires downloading PSI's secure browser. Your computer will be locked down during the exam because of that browser, so if you're not comfortable with having your computer locked down or are unable to download the secure browser, I recommend that you probably look at using a test center versus an LRP examination. What locations are candidates allowed to be in? Well, that's one of the convenient portions of the LRP. Almost anywhere a candidate has connectivity, proper lighting, no one else in the vicinity, and a low ambient noise can be used for testing, CMCI recommends a private room in your office or home to make sure that you have all of those things, particularly proper lighting, connectivity, and with very little noise for distractions. Are candidates allowed to take breaks? Candidates may request up to 2 7-minute breaks during the exam from the remote proctor, but you better hurry back because the time will continue to run off the exam. And that goes for both the LRP and on-site. Anytime you take a break, the clock continues to run during the exam. What happens if a candidate loses connection during the exam? Well, the proctor will wait while the candidate reconnects. The exam timer will pause during the disconnection, but the proctor will end the exam if a candidate cannot reconnect within a few minutes. So again, it goes back to the emphasis on making sure you have good connectivity. The use of a landline is recommended over Wi-Fi, but if you need to, Wi-Fi can be used. Just make sure it's a strong enough signal, which leads us into technical requirements. So the operating systems supported are Windows 7 or later, 32-bit and 64-bit operating systems, and a Mac OS X or later. CMCI browser supports PSI Bridge Secure Lockdown Browser only. To be downloaded at least 30 minutes before the exam to make sure that you can properly do that. Again, if you can't do that, I recommend that you use a personal computer to avoid any firewalls that your work computer or government-issued computer have. The browser must be able to accept third-party cookies for the duration of the exam, and you are going to be required to have a webcam and microphone. Now, as you saw in the video, the webcam does need to be mobile, so if you don't have an external one, you'll need to be able to at least pick up the laptop where your camera is to show around the room. The minimum bandwidth is 400 kbps download and upload speeds. Hardware required is 2 gigs of RAM memory and 1 gig of free disk space. And if you're uncertain of any of these things, you can call PSI to walk through the checklist to verify that you have the right technical requirements. So let's go over some things that you do need to do before the exam or during the exam. And you need to make sure your computer is compatible. We just went over the technical requirements. Make sure that you do that ahead of time. You don't want to be getting ready for the exam and counted as absent because you can't get your computer to work. Make sure you have reliable internet. You don't want to be in the middle of your exam and have continuous dropouts because the proctor could flag that as an issue and cancel the exam. And it's a distraction to you as the test taker to have constant interruptions. Make sure you have the right kind of government-issued photo ID. What that means is it needs to be valid, not expired. Driver's license, passport, state IDs, green card, alien registration, permanent resident cards are all acceptable. Unfortunately, we cannot accept military IDs or temporary IDs. Military IDs are prohibited because of the information that's provided on the ID. We also use facial recognition and photographs of the ID and you as the test taker. And that's stored for 90 days, which is why we cannot take military IDs. Make sure you launch the exam up to 15 minutes prior to the exam appointment. You will be allowed to bring 2 pieces of blank scratch paper for the use during the exam. Now, at the end of the exam proctor is going to ask that you to show what you have written down and then destroy it in front of the camera. Then you're also going to be provided an on-screen non-scientific calculator, and that goes for also at the test centers. So it's the same calculator you get at the test center as you will for the LRP exam. Now, there are a lot of don'ts during the exam, and this goes for a lot of these things are the same at test centers versus LRP examination. So the following are not permitted. Written items such as notes, books, slide rulers, dictionaries, or other reference materials are not permitted. Electronic devices other than the candidate's computer, microphone, or webcam are not permitted. Telephones or signal devices such as pagers or cell phones not permitted. Alarms or recording playback devices of any kind are not permitted. Photographic or image copying devices, jewelry or watches, not permitted. Obviously, the time will be displayed on the computer screen. No hats or caps, unless they're for religious reasons, are allowed on. Cigarettes or other flavored tobacco products not happening. Food or any kind of chewing gum, breath mints, or etc. are not allowed. And beverage glasses or bottles are not also permitted. We do allow water, and it must be in a clear container like a glass with no labels, so that we can see that nothing has been written down on the rim of the glass or the label. One thing that was noted in the video is that exam proctors are not CMs and did not develop the exams, so do not look to them to ask questions on content or clarity of things that you have seen on the exam. They will be unable to assist with those types of content questions or anything on the exam. What they are there to do is to monitor to make sure that cheating is not happening or that there is no technical glitches with the exam software. So if you are having issues with the exam software or things happening within the exam outside of content, you should make sure you let the proctor know. Anything you have concerns about that you see content-wise on the exam, you may let CMCI know, but you will not be able to write that down on the scratch paper or notes. There is a comment feature that you'll be able to utilize for things like that on the software. So obviously this is a new piece of equipment that we are using and a new format that we are trying out for the LRP exam. So you may have questions. So anything that's related to eligibility or the exam content itself should be contacted to Colin, Andrea, or Nick in the CMCI certification department. We also have a host of information and resources available on our website. You can visit www.cmcertification.org or CMA.net/CCM_LRP to visit for more details. If you have technical questions on your specs of your computer or the exam delivery, you can contact PSI directly at 1-800-211-2754. I want to wish you best of luck on your CCM exam, and we hope to be in contact real soon. Thank you for your patience and for your understanding in this change of process. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Thank you.